Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner joins me now. And Brooks, talking about a rainy weekend and seeing more of it this morning.
Yeah, periodic downpours, that's the name of the game. And today, Garrett, we've got more tropical moisture to work with and even the benefit of an upper level system to help enhance it even further. So already on this Monday morning, we've had thunderstorms across the area, and some of these storms have been on the really heavy side. We're talking several inches of rain possible today alone. Otherwise, it's all about clouds and wind and a live view at the beach because we've got higher than normal tides. In fact, we've got to watch these tides carefully because this morning we had a tide at 7:38 a.m. and the water was going all the way up to the seawall and chewing away at the dunes. We've got another high tide this evening at 8:04 p.m. and then tomorrow a king tide at 8:28 a.m. Now, a king tide is a spring tide. It's some of the biggest tides of the year. We've got this super moon. Everything's super and king and big, but truly it's the moon is closest to the Earth in its annual orbit, and so that tends to make the tides more amplified. And thanks to our continental shelf kind of dropping off quickly, we don't get the same impacts as South Florida does, or like the low country of South Carolina, when you can have a blue sky day and when there's a king tide, it causes flooding all over the place. But it does bump our tides up a foot or so, and so that combined with a little bit of a quasi-storm surge from this persistent easterly flow, well, that results in a lot of erosion at times of high tide, especially on some of the beaches that were freshly nourished with some of that offshore sand. Tends to be a lot more coarse, and that can get washed back into the ocean very quickly. High surf advisory, beach erosion, 5 to 7 foot waves. Not a great day to be at the beach, obviously. And the rain, the radar has been very active all morning, and it will be all afternoon. We're going to see waves of rain. You can tell it red and yellow. I mean, that is a real big downpour. Future clouds and radar features, this stuff really coming to a head around 1 o'clock through probably 4 to 5 p.m., which means that not just for school pickup and the bus stop, but also for your commute home, you're going to run into some wet roads, potentially some big puddling on the roads and big ponding as the rain is coming down at a very fast pace. Now, we're going to see the rain generally tamping down this evening and then a drier pattern as we head into the middle of the week, but we could see an additional 1 to as many as 3 inches of rain today in the hardest hit areas. Hard to see exactly where that'll be. It'll probably be just inland from the coast, especially west of I-95, maybe in places that haven't had as much rain. But we've already seen upwards of 7.5 inches of rain in northeastern Osceola, western Brevard County, also just outside of Oak Hill and Volusia County, between 4 and 7 inches of rain falling. A lot of us have had a soaking over the last 5 days. This is the cumulative totals, but this is what it looks like for a lot of us out there. Look at that rain falling at Lake Fairview. All right, let's talk tropics. We've got a tropical wave, Invest 95L in the eastern Atlantic, and it is showing signs of developing. In fact, the spaghetti models bring this westward before curving it away from the U.S. But folks in the islands, we're talking about the Leeward Islands, that's the Lesser Antilles of the Caribbean, as well as Bermuda. We'll need to watch this one carefully at the end of this week and next week. There's about a 70% chance that this becomes Tropical Storm Jerry, and many of our computer models are now making this a Hurricane Jerry by the time we get into about 3 to 4 days from now. So this could be a somewhat rapid intensifier. A hurricane is certainly possible. Jerry would be the name, so we're going to watch that very carefully. After Jerry comes Karen, and we've got to watch those mid to late October systems because they're more likely to form in the Gulf and in the Western Caribbean, both areas that are completely untapped this hurricane season with a lot of really warm ocean heat content. While there's nothing in the cards now, if something was to form in the Gulf or the Caribbean, it would be statistically more likely to impact the Gulf Coast, including Florida. So that is where we need to watch. October can be a very busy month for Florida. Look no further than last year when we had Hurricane Milton in October. And with all that heat, you could get a big hurricane out there. Karen would be the likely name of something that was to form in the Gulf. By the way, something to look forward to, this muggy weather. It's going to be with us for the next several days, and then the hope of fall weather arriving for the weekend. Got an Atlantic system looks to set up on Friday, bringing nor'easter conditions to the northeast, but dry air to Florida. That would mean low temperatures in the 60s this weekend. So for your morning run on Saturday, you're going to be good to go. Same with Sunday, and high temperatures in the lower to middle 80s. Just a few coastal showers possible on the Atlantic side. So Garrett, after a couple of days of rain and what's been a really unrelentingly just on again, off again, dreary pattern, there's some hope on the horizon.
Yeah. Some brighter days ahead, literally.
That's right. It's going to be very nice. And after this week, it's going to feel great to have drier air and lower humidity.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner, we appreciate you joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Garrett.